let's deal with your case. Let me get Miss Miles back on.
I'm here.
And I get you ladies to raise your right hand for me.
Can you see me? Because I don't see anything on the screen.
I don't know what, but I can see you quite clear.
Okay.
All right. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, under penalty and perjury of the law?
Yes.
All right. And we may have to, Miss Miles, you can put your hand down. All right. All right. I'm going to first ask Ms. Rubin some questions, and then Ms. Miles will get you some questions as well. So Ms. Rubin, tell me, is this a written or oral lease? Do you have a written or oral lease agreement with this individual, Ms. Miles?
A written lease.
You have a written lease. And how much is monthly rent?
Monthly rent is what I have it written. $1,378.
And is there a late fee?
Yes.
How much is the late fee?
150? No, 75. 75.
Okay. When's the last time this tenant paid rent?
The month she moved in August.
Okay, so she paid in August.
Yes.
Okay. And so then you're looking for, according to your complaint here, bear with me. Hold on. There we go. So you've got though on your well, you filed this in September. So you're looking for September as well as I guess October. On your complaint though, you've identified 3831 as your balance. Tell me how you got that.
Okay, when she moved in, she asked to have to get a payment plan for the security deposit, for the utility fees, and for other administration fees. So she was supposed to pay that up front, but she was given a payment plan to pay it for the month of August to give her time to get through it. So her first payment was on the payment plan was August 21st. When August 21st showed up, she was not able to pay. And afterwards, she still didn't pay. So she signed an agreement for the payment plan. And then she said she wasn't able to pay it. And then she said she set up another payment plan and then didn't honor that one either. And then she, after setting up these payment plans and having me wait, then she came up with the idea that she didn't have to pay at all because she found some repair issues, she stated. But when all initial tenants have to do a walkthrough, just because this always happens when they are not able to pay. They always start stating there's repair issues. So when they first move in, you always look through the apartment, see if there are any repairs need to be done, look at everything, put it on the list so it can be done time you move in. I didn't have any issues, just move some dishes, that's it. Then once she wasn't able to pay any of her bills, all of a sudden she have all these repair issues.
Okay, hold tight. So you're saying that these utilities, because those aren't quite rent, but you're saying that there's a deposit portion of this 3831 that is in there as well. There's a portion of deposit and other cost.
Right.
Okay. All right. That convolutes it just a little bit. But all right, but she's still present there. So you were ultimately saying September and October, correct?
Yes.
For
yes.
rent. All right. Let me speak, Ms. Miles.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. And can you tell me then, do you have a written or oral lease with Ms. Rubin?
I have a written lease.
All right. How much is monthly rent?
$13.78, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have it in front of me.
No worries. Are you aware of any late fee?
I don't know exactly how much it is, but there is a late fee.
Okay. All right. So tell me, when's the last time you paid rent?
August.
All right, and tell me, you have any defenses that you'd like to make? I'll just pull up your answer specific.
Yes, I filed a counterclaim because I did call code enforcement, and
Mhm.
Officer Jeter came out to my residence and he said that he sent her a letter that probably wouldn't have got to her. She should have gotten it by now
Mhm.
because he came out September the 5th, if I'm not mistaken, and it was filed September the 1st. Upon which I had emailed. Okay, first of all, this lady that's saying she's Miss Rubin, that's Maya. So I don't know who owns this property. I don't
But
know if
they're both identified as the plaintiff. Are you telling me you don't have a contract with Maya?
I don't have a contract with Maya. That's Maya. This person right here, this is who presented themselves to me as Maya.
Both me and Maya are on the contract, on lease.
She is Maya. They're not on my lease, sir. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, hold on. So you're saying this isn't your landlord, but now she's saying you're not on the lease.
Her name is Maya. I only have on my lease is Hadrakia Reuben.
Okay. Do you guys submitted a copy of this lease?
They
No,
told
I,
me
I I can show it to you. Hold on, give me
I,
one
I can't
second.
see it if you just.
Oh, okay.
It won't. It's not legible.
I tried to submit it to the court. They said it doesn't matter. I can submit it or not.
I got it. I understand. So, but Ms. Miles, I understand you're saying that she may not be the person that you signed the contract with, but have you ever interacted with this woman before today?
That's Maya. I'm unable to contact her Hadrakia Reuben. She gave me a number for her. I never had an email.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. So, have you been dealing with Ms. Rubin in the past with this matter?
No, I've never dealt with Hadrakia Reuben. The person
Okay,
that's
or
on
Miss
here, that's
or Maya. I'm sorry.
this is Maya. That's the only person that I've dealt with. And she's not on my lease. My lease says Hadrakia Reuben.
Okay.
Now, I'm sorry. Go
Okay,
ahead.
hold on. We're gonna get to that. Just hold tight. So, in the event that she is on the lease, and I've checked and confirmed and see what's going on. In the event that she's on the lease, tell me what's wrong with the property.
There, the kitchen sink is leaking, the refrigerator, there's a detached ice maker, she says, where the water, where the ice maker should be, the water is draining down into the refrigerator. And when you pull the bottom of the refrigerator is completely full with water. The kitchen sink is leaking water. I thought that when we moved in, I was seeing a lot of nets, and there's still nets in the house because the water is still, she hasn't made any repairs. So I was thinking maybe I let, because it's a lot of trees and stuff outside, I was thinking I probably let the bugs in from moving in. But over time, after a week or two, I noticed that the kitchen sink was leaking. On the 24th of August, before September even came, I sent her email letter. You should have that because that's how I submitted it to the court. That I emailed her offering to make the repairs. At this point, it was like she would have rather ended my lease than make repairs. So at this point, I asked to speak to the owner. I was like, she wouldn't allow me to speak to the owner, to Hadrakia Reuben. Um, at that point, that's when I called code enforcement because there was a patch job
Well,
in
hold
the
on.
bathroom.
So hold tight. I don't have any letter from code enforcement, or furthermore, I don't, and your answer doesn't identify any counterclaims. It
I
just,
resubmitted it. It should have been 10 pages long.
I don't see a 10-page long answer.
I
Hold on,
submitted
hold
it.
on, hold
I'm
on.
sorry. Let me
All right, so first things first, ma'am. Are you Reuben or are you Maya? Let's your address.
Reuben,
You're Reuben
yes,
and Draco.
yes, Hydrocal,
Okay. You're not Maya.
right.
Okay. And that's what's on your ID, your driver.
Yes, I have no problem submitting it.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
Judge, there was an amended answer submitted on
Yeah.
September 25th.
I see it. It wasn't on the initial list. Hold on. birthday. All right. I mean, I see the text messages, and you guys obviously have gotten back and forth here with the issues, but I guess the code enforcement. Let me ask you this, Miss Rubin, did code enforcement ever send you a letter?
No, I have not received any letter.
Now, Ms. Miles, I do see what you submitted from code enforcement, some email. Where are you, Ms. Miles? There you go.
I'm right here.
No, I it's a lot of screens. So anyway, with that is, so you're saying you didn't pay rent because what, you think the property is uninhabitable? Is that your position?
Yes, because there was patchwork done in the front and in the living room area and in the bathroom area where the ceiling, where bugs were coming into the property. Every morning I would get up and go into the bathroom. Bugs and roaches were in there, just in the tub. And the kitchen sink is just has still water sitting in it. Every time you open a refrigerator door, water comes out like an ocean, just a big wave of water every morning. Have the water puddles sitting in the kitchen floor. But my thing is now, I don't want to stay. I want someone to find out who owns this property because this lady be peeking through my window
But
and
listen,
everything.
let's just be, let's be real. You signed a contract with Ruben and she's identified herself as Ruben, and I have no other reason not to believe that she's Ruben. And you've been dealing with this person from the onset of this particular matter.
As Maya.
I guess as Maya, you're saying, but she's saying that she's Ruben and she's under oath. But I guess more importantly here, what we have is you're saying, I don't need to pay rent. Let's just be 100 because there's some issues. But the property's not an uninhabitable because you're living there right now, right?
I'm not there.
You're
I
not
had to
there.
leave. I
So
had
when
to
did you
leave.
leave?
I'm not there.
When did you
I'm
leave?
at a friend's house. My stuff is still there, but I'm at someone else's house.
But see that's different. You haven't moved out. Your
Right.
stuff's still there. I mean, that you could be spending the night at somebody's house, right? So that isn't necessarily saying that you've moved out. What I'm saying to you is that ultimately you may have some outstanding repair issues, and I will acknowledge those. But ultimately, though, that doesn't mean that you don't get to not pay any rent. Now, I can't lead to any of the issues as far as this payment plan for your security deposit. Honestly, I tell people if you're going to get a security deposit, you do that. You get it when you start the case or start the contract. Getting it as it goes, obviously, is no longer really a security deposit. It's just money you paying, right? That makes no sense. So I'm not going to give you any monies for that because that's not part of the rent, and what you've identified previously was not providing any evidence for it.
That's fine.
But give me 1 second. Hold tight.
That's fine.
And furthermore, Miss Miles, you didn't submit any pictures of the issues, but I'm going to take your word for it. And Miss Rubin, let me ask you too, while I've got you here, tell me, have you received any repair requests? I have seen some text messages apparently to you.
I know she said something. Now, if she wants to get into the repair issues, like she said something about the refrigerator. That I'm fully in knowledge about the refrigerator. I finally was able to get the warranty people to come out to fix the refrigerator. She tells me in a text message, if she wanted to send text messages, she used the B word, stop effing contacting me. I don't want, so I don't understand. She's talking about repair issues.
She
At the
did
same
that,
time,
Judge. What's today? Today is Tuesday. She called me on Friday. And in our lease, because I've had this issue with her, we have to have 24-hour notice. She contacted me at 3 p.m. saying somebody was coming for repairs. I say, well, make sure they come after 3:30 because I need a 24-hour notice.
Wait. I get that. And I think that's relevant, but ultimately that's not where your real damages are lying. What I want to know is, does your refrigerator work?
Yeah, but you can't put, like, if I turn it, it's for one, it's up on the max, which is causing everything to freeze. I've lost fruits and stuff in the refrigerator because they're freezing. all the water is draining down into the vegetable and fruit trays. And I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat meat.
Uh-huh.
So that would be an issue. There's water on each shelf and in the bottom of the refrigerator.
Okay. All right. But you know that don't mean that you don't get to pay no rent now. Let's just be 100.
And okay, and I
hold on,
understand
listen
that.
to me. Like, listen to me, right? I'm not a phantom. I'm a real person, right? I'm a real person. You can't tell me that's not the base. That's the basis for not paying any rent. I'm not trying to single you out, but I'm just saying that ain't adding up. But I will give you consideration for those issues because that is a concern, and she's admitted those. And I do think that you
Oh,
living with that
shit.
issue over the past
Hello.
2 months,
Hello.
I can hear you.
Hello. Can you hear?
I can
I
hear
didn't hear.
I can
I didn't hear
hear you,
anything you
Miss Miles.
said.
I can hear you, Miss Miles. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you some damages here. Ultimately, the judgment was going to be $2,255, but I'm going to give you a $500 credit concerning the outstanding repairs regarding the refrigerator and other issues. So what that will leave you with is a judgment with, excuse me, $2,055.40. And that writ of possession will be available on the 24th of 2023.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. You folks will get a copy of my order in your email, and you're free to go now.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Let me